this is how far I am in the book right now. 29,900 words, 111 pages, double spaced, Times New Roman. I would say maybe I'm like a third or something of the way through. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is just going to be a quick little rant update situation because I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a writer's block situation, and I feel like other writers out there probably can relate, so hopefully we can provide each other some support. And also I have no energy to do another full video this week just because I've been traveling and on vacation and I haven't had time. So yeah, I figured I'd talk about my book updates, tell you guys where I'm at. Hopefully I'll get back into regular schedule next week. I'm thinking of starting to film like day in the life as a writer with my 9-to-5 job because I feel like that might be interesting. And then I'll also continue filming for my monthly update at the end of this month. Gonna place you guys down here, so sorry for the bad lighting. But as you saw earlier, I'm almost at 30k words. I haven't really started writing at my regular routine ever since I got back from vacation last week. I think I hit maybe 2 days of writing my 1,000 words. Before I left on vacation, I had this routine going of hitting 1,000 words per day in my novel. And I did that for about a month and I hit about 27k words. If you want to go back and watch my month 1 update video, I highly recommend. I talk about my process of starting and everything and plot holes and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm just trying to get back into routine right now. But I feel like I'm getting a little bit of writer's block. I don't know if anyone else out there can relate to this. If you are a writer, please let me know what you do. I think my biggest struggle is the fact that I have to write along with having a 9-to-5 job. And the biggest struggle I have here is that it feels like turning on another part of your brain, if that makes sense. I was just talking about this with a colleague the other day. I was telling him how I'm working on this novel and I want to pursue more creative projects. I might have mentioned this in a previous video, but I'm being let go from my current job, but I still have a couple of months left. And I've made the decision where I don't want to go back to corporate America, at least not right away. I want to spend some time pursuing other projects, other career opportunities. But my main goal right now is to get this novel done because I really, really want to be a published author. That is my dream. It's been my dream ever since I was little. I kind of lost that dream in the middle of growing up. Just didn't even cross my head as a possibility. But now recently, I've just been in a place where I've reconnected with what it is I want to do. And I feel like a lot of the times the things we wanted when we were little or when we were young are actually what we are meant to be doing. And the world and society makes us removed from all of that in a sense because we feel like we have to be living life one way because we go for stability and comfort instead of growth, right? But for many years I just wasn't writing, and the end of last month I started writing for the first time ever in the sense of writing outside of academia, right? And so I'm working on, if you didn't know, I'm working on a fantasy novel. And it's mainly at this moment fantasy with a romance subplot. I'm not sure if it falls into that category or more of a romantasy. I don't think it's romantasy just because there's political intrigue and stuff like that, but it is an enemies to lovers. And I just want to give a quick spiel talking about my book in case anyone's ever interested in reading it, but it is going to be kind of a crossover between the Jasad heir and Sword of Kaigan in terms of the political intrigue of the first book and the elemental magic world of the second. And it's also heavily inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender in terms of the elemental world, but mainly the Zuko and Katara ship, because I am a die-hard Zutara fan and I will die on that hill. I think Zuko and Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender should have ended up together. I think that would have been the perfect enemies to lovers scenario. I think they would have been perfect for each other. I don't know. I have my gripes about them, but I still think they would have been way better than Katara ending up with Aang, which is what happened. I will die on that hill. We can have a discussion down below if anyone wants to. But yes, I always wanted to one day write a story that's Zutara coded, Zutara inspired with my main characters, and that's what I'm doing with this novel, and I feel really happy and proud that I'm even doing this regardless of what happens with it. But I do hope that one day it gets out into the world and in front of other people, and I think that would just be my lifelong dream, is to get this published. But it is, my main characters are Zuko and Katara inspired, and they have the traits of Zuko and Katara, just flip, in the sense of Zuko was more fiery and hot-headed, and then he eventually became calm. But I feel like my female character has more of that emotion and is not afraid to show it. And then my male main character is more cool-headed and holds his emotions back. But he is similar to Zuko in the sense that he has a lot of father issues, so he deals with that trauma. And he's also the prince of a kingdom that is overtaking the others, and then our female main character has been affected by this. And I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to spoil the plot of the story, but I think one day in one of my future videos I will read my pitch to you guys, my 160-word elevator pitch, so stay tuned for that. I will not be reading the pitch right now at this moment because the story is still in progress and things may change. But I do definitely, once my first draft is over, want to share this pitch with you guys. So please subscribe and stay tuned for that. But if you are a Zutara lover like I am, I think you will really love my book. So please follow along for the progress. Subscribe would mean the world to me. It would be a huge support, especially because I'm losing my job. Literally, and I really hope I can have this YouTube channel grow and stuff and grow a community around this book. But back to the book itself, it's been my lifelong dream to write a Zutara-coded enemies to lovers romance fantasy novel, and I feel like I'm at the point in my story where it's like I do find enjoyment in writing, but it's also hard because I'm a perfectionist and I'm an overthinker, and I tend to be really harsh to myself. And every author interview I've seen talks about how the first draft is going to be bad and things change during developmental edits, and your second draft or whatever, the manuscript gets a huge overhaul. And even though I know that, I just have this perfectionist tendency, or I tend to be really hard on myself with my writing, where I feel like it has to be good in my brain as I'm writing it. And I need to get over that hurdle of wanting it to sound good. My goal right now should just be to get things out, and it's just a constant struggle. But I think going back to what I was originally going to talk about, it's hard if you're someone who works a full-time day job to switch off that part of your brain that necessarily doesn't work on creative stuff to switching on the creative side of your brain and having to create this world and these characters and write. Because I work a security role in a tech adjacent job, it's basically not that creative at all. It's a lot of work that is more already set in stone, if that makes sense. It's more tech adjacent, and it doesn't use the same part of my brain, the creative part of my brain. And when I have to go into that mode for work and work in that for 8 hours a day, it's hard to suddenly turn that off and switch the other side of my brain on. And that's what I was talking about with my colleague when I was describing my book to them and how I'm trying to work, but it's just hard for me to find the motivation to work. And so don't know, I'm trying to find ways to utilize the creative side of my brain and get motivation and consistency and determination to write my novel. And sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easier some days than others, but I don't know if there's any of you out there who feel like they're working on a creative project while doing a 9-to-5 job that is not necessarily creative. I would love to hear your thoughts on it because it's really hard to switch your brain, especially me being neurodivergent. I feel like that just brings a third layer of struggle. And on top of that, I have a chronic illness. I have PCOS and I deal with chronic fatigue, and it's like my health is something that I've been battling with daily, and it's still something I'm trying to improve and learn on, and it's a huge focus in my life, but I struggle with it every day, and people with health problems will relate to that. It's never easy, and in a space where there's no full treatment or solution for this health problem, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. It's like I'm kind of on my own in terms of experimenting to see what works for me. So yeah, it's a daily struggle, but I feel like this is my lifelong goal and dream, so I'm still gonna do it. It may be slower than I would have hoped. I just hope I get back into this habit. So what I'm gonna try is maybe start writing in the morning if I can wake up a little bit earlier to get time to write, or maybe even set aside some time during the workday, maybe half an hour to an hour to try writing and then do my work later. Or maybe I just need a new environment. I think that might help. Maybe I'll just go to cafes certain weekends and see if I can crank stuff out. Maybe a change of pace. I just usually write in this room, which is also where I do my work. So I feel like maybe those energies are clashing and not really working together. But yeah, we'll see. Those are my struggles. It's like a fluctuating thing. Some days or some weeks are really good, some weeks are not. I think I just need to slowly get back into it, especially after I've been on vacation brain, and then I'm just getting back into work as well. So struggles with being a full-time worker as an author. I know there's published authors who still have a full-time career, so props to them. It's hard, but like I said, this has been my lifelong dream. I really want to see this Zatara ship sail. Also, if you guys have been seeing these adult Zuko edits from the new movie, that has been leaked by the way, and I have not watched it. I'm waiting for the official release, but I could not avoid the fan edits on Instagram, and I'm not mad about it because adult Zuko, can we please talk about how hot he is? That's all I have to say. I've been living for those edits. They've literally given me life, and I honestly thank you to whoever made those edits because it's motivated me to write my book even more. Because I am once again more pissed that Zutara was not a thing. I'm obsessed with Zuko. I'm an adult Zuko. I feel like my childhood crush has just reignited, and it's given me passion to write my Zutara-coded romance in this fantasy. Guys, I'm gonna do it. Stay tuned. So this video was basically my struggles mixed with an elevator pitch. But hey, I feel like we need Zutara's inspired romance now more than ever. So follow along for my magical fantasy world with political intrigue and a Zutara-inspired romance, enemies to lovers romance specifically. And it'll be a true enemies to lovers, guys. None of that fake shit. None of that fake like rivals. It's nothing wrong with rivals to lovers, but I feel like a lot of times people say a story is enemies to lovers, but they're not true enemies. These people are true enemies. They are out to get each other. But they will obviously eventually end up together with a lot of angst, a lot of yearning. I'm a huge fan of yearning in my enemies to lovers stories, so if that's something you like, stay tuned for that. I think I'm gonna end the video there. Please stay tuned for some more day in the life videos. I hope to start filming those soon, and I'm gonna try to keep you guys updated on my novel and its progress. So we're getting there. I really hope you guys can see my work one day, but regardless, stay tuned for the journey, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.